Hey everyone, welcome back to the Batcade. First, I'd like to thank all of you. We've reached 500 subs. We're actually getting really close to 1,000 subs. So to each one of you who have subscribed, heartfelt thank you. Today, we are gonna change things up. We're gonna step out of the arcade side of things and we're gonna go into some more retro, nostalgic ideas, starting with this NES. Specifically, this game right here, Kickmaster. A little bit of a backstory on Kickmaster. It has convoluted beginnings. A company named Taxan developed the game. They had issues finding a publisher. Long story short, they eventually landed on Taito to publish the game. This game released in North America and North America only right around 1992. Now, the Super Nintendo was already in full swing at this point. This game kind of went under the radar as everyone had already switched from their NES to their SNES. So by the time I actually got to this game, it was several years after 1992. I believe it was about 1997. Even after the Super Nintendo was pretty much already done, the N64 was the latest console. And this was during the time when it felt like no one wanted their SNES or NES games anymore, and you could find these games at a thrift store for $1, which is what I did. In my local area, our thrift store had tons of NES games for just $1 a piece, no more than like $5 each. Now, for whatever reason, even though you can't really find a whole lot of information on this on YouTube, I believe there's one good solid review. We'll probably link that in the comments below, as I won't go too in depth about this game. I just want to show off the game more, give it some love. For whatever reason, this game is now sitting at $90, even over $100, and that's what it's selling for on eBay. It's crazy, right? So today we're going to take a look at Kickmaster gameplay, and I'm going to give you some of my thoughts on this. Without further ado, let's get started. Look at that. Oh yeah, let's all appreciate this just for a moment. This game had an opening sequence. Not completely animated, but later on, we'll see some animations. Yeah, at this point, Super Nintendo was at full swing. That soundtrack. Full-bore 8-bit metal soundtrack, if we're being honest. I remember popping this thing in for the first time and being completely blown away because, keep in mind, I got my NES when the SNES was relevant, and this still looked good. This looked great. I got my NES from a yard sale. My parents found an NES with 3 games. Super Mario Bros. 3, Double Dragon 2, and Double Dragon 3, the Impossible Double Dragon. All of that $20 in like 97. Try finding that kind of a deal today in 2025. All right, just kidding. We had to switch over to the new TV and the NES Classic Mini because, let's be honest, the old stuff is great. It's wonderful, but at times it can be unreliable. So unfortunately, either my NES or my Kickmaster needs a little TLC, a little cleaning, or maybe a 72-pin connector replacement. Who knows? So luckily, I have the NES Classic Mini, and I've got it hacked. I put a whole bunch of new, ROMs on there. As you can see, I actually own, the physical copy of Kickmaster. So anyway, let's take a deeper dive into this widely underrated game. So one of my favorite things about this game, as I mentioned earlier, is the soundtrack. I mean, this thing honestly sounds like 8-bit heavy metal to me anyway. So instantly fell in love with that. It not only does it sound like 8-bit heavy metal, but it's captivating and it just keeps going. It never lets you down. It keeps the pace going. Second is when you find these, not only are you learning new kicks as you go, because this does have XP and MP, but you also get these like magical powers that you use your MP with, right? So the kicks are awesome, and there's like a level up system. You get these coins that help you level up. You get like hearts that give you life. There's even 1-ups if you destroy Some of these guys, sometimes they'll spit out 1-ups. They also spit out poison, so you got to be careful not to get the little skull and bones. So there's always something to do. The pacing is always just full bore. Never does it get boring. Never does it, slow down on you. In fact, I'd probably have to say that it just keeps getting better and better as you progress through the levels in the entire game. First boss is this magical evil witch in purple garb. It only takes a few kicks and boom, there you go. My third favorite thing about this game is the imagery, specifically on this next level. Oh, and the password system. I remember as a kid, these games didn't save. One cool thing about the NES Classic Mini though is you can actually save on this system, but back in '97 when I was playing this game, I had to take out pencil and paper and write this password down if I ever needed to like shut the game down and come back to it later. Anyway, level 2. This is honestly probably my favorite level in the entire game. Look at the imagery. Skeleton-looking Grim Reapers falling from the ceiling. These giant skeletons just like hanging in the walls in the background. Skulls, piles of skulls. The environment is just insane for an 8-bit game, paired up with even more heavy metal sounding 8-bit music. What do I have for power? So this is cool. It'll actually give you some more life if you have enough MP to use it. Secrets over here. There we go. Get a little extra life fill up there. Should be a secret over here. There you go. Magic boots. Now here's where the frustration begins in this game, and it doesn't end here. This game is my favorite NES game, which, doesn't mean that it's a perfect game. Damn near though. Really close to being a perfect game. But this is where some frustrations begin with me and many other people. If you're not careful, even if you use your kicks, the second you fall off the map, you die. And sometimes those jumps can be a bit frustrating. Luckily, that hasn't happened to me so far. There, sweet. That can get a little nerve-wracking, which I guess is part of the fun, part of the experience. I mean, how many NES games did that anyway? And most of them were atrocious. A bit weird that you're this Kickmaster, but a frog can hurt you. It must be some kind of venomous frog. Alright, this boss is pretty cool. Looks like another witchy female with a pack of wolves, because these wolves just won't sit still. Okay, now for the witch, who's throwing these really sharp leaves. All right, sweet. And another power. More powerful items. I want to thank you all for hanging out today on another episode of the Batcade. I really enjoyed talking about Kickmaster, my favorite NES game. I also want to say thank you once again to all of you subscribers. Like and share these videos, and you haven't already, become a subscriber. We're going to be talking about all things nerdy as we expand. Have you played Kickmaster? Do you have any memories you'd like to share? If so, please share in the comments below.